Hi, I'm Robyn Lee from the CatholicMatch Institute, and I'm here with Deacon Nathan and Deacon Joshua from the Canons Regular of St. John Cantius from Chicago. And this Sunday is the World Day Prayer for Vocations, and so I've asked these deacons who are going to be ordained priests in a month to talk about why is it important for Catholics to pray for vocations. So as Catholics, we want to know, why is it important for us to pray for vocations? Everybody talks about, the priest crisis. So what are we doing about it? And why is it important for us to pray? So, Deacon Joshua, can you tell us, why is it important for Catholics to pray for vocations?
Well, for one thing, prayer is a two-way conversation with God. It's how we talk to God. And unless we open ourselves, not just one way, but both ways, unless we open ourselves up, we can't know exactly what God is asking of us. So prayer is important, not just for vocations for others, but also for ourselves to be connected to know what God's will is.
So with knowing what God's will is, and definitely that's incorporated with your prayer, but personally, how did you hear God's call in your life?
Well, for myself, when I was 7 years old, I wanted to become a Protestant pastor. My family wasn't Catholic, and I remember when I was young, I wanted more than anything to be a Pentecostal pastor preaching to people. Well, I didn't know about the Catholic Church until the age of 11, and it was shortly after that that I realized that the call I was seeking for in the Protestant Church was actually to become a Catholic priest. And so it was just very natural for me that call I had at a young age was filled in.
And so the unique thing about Deacon Joshua and Deacon Nathan is not only are they brothers in a religious community, but they're also real brothers, blood brothers. So Deacon Nathan, can you share with us a little bit about your vocation story?
Sure. Mine is a little different. I also remember being, as a Pentecostal, remember thinking how I was going to go to the missions, as a missionary. But then when my family became Catholic, obviously that changed, and I had different goals. But then eventually, I started taking my faith seriously, and I realized that God had saved me from so much, that He had given me everything, and the only thing that I wanted to do was to give Him back my life because it belonged to Him. So I had to ask, God, what are you asking me? What do you want me to do? What is the meaning of my life, and what is it that I can give back to you? And I thought, well, I better start at the top. I better see if God's calling me to the priesthood. And so I started looking into religious life. And once I got into religious life, with discernment of myself and my superior, eventually he said, you should go to seminary. And then I went to seminary, and here 7 years later, just finished seminary, and Joshua and I are going to be ordained at the same time. It worked out just at the end of this month.
So Deacon Joshua and Deacon Nathan will be ordained priests in the Canons Regular of St. John Cantius. Can you tell us about what's unique about your community?
Well, as Canons Regular, our life is kind of like monastic life in the context of a parish. So we serve in the parish, we do all the sacraments, but we live communal life. So we celebrate the divine office throughout the day. We celebrate Mass in common, and obviously for all people to attend. We do this in downtown Chicago and another parish just outside of Chicago. But we, in our community, our life is focused on the liturgy and restoring the sacred, bringing all the patrimony of the church in terms of arts, sacred music, all of those things that different artists have brought to the church, brought to the liturgy to express the beauty of God and of the liturgy, and bring that for the worship of God and the edification of His people.
So if someone is a single Catholic is really trying to discern God's will for their life, what would you say from your own experience, or what advice would you give to someone? What is like the simple way for them to really know God's will in their life?
Well, Number one, I would say you need to find time for silence. I know it's a busy world, there's a lot going on, but unless you make that time to hear God's voice, unless you make that time to tune off things in our world and find time just to hear the small, still voice of God, then you won't know what God is asking you to do. And I know that many of the popes, Pope Benedict has also asked us about that as well. So.
Sure. And I would say to that, too, that everybody is called to a vocation, and that everybody has that a duty, an obligation to spend time in front of our Lord and ask, Lord, what are you calling me to do? Whether it's priesthood or religious life or family life or single life, we always need to be connected to God and be asking Him, Lord, what is your will? That's the essence of what it means to be Catholic and to be in relationship to God. Is if we really love Him, let's ask Him, God, what do you want me to do? I think that's it.
So on this World Day Prayer for Vocations, let's ask God, what is it that you want us to do? And to definitely pray for vocations on this day. Thank you for your time, and please join us at CatholicMatchInstitute.com.